Hi, my name is Duncan and I studied at the course in Newport between 1987 and 1989. I was on the course when it was still the 2-year HND course, and in the first year of the course I would have been taught by Clive Landon, Daniel Meadows, David Hearn, Paul Rees, and with visiting lecturers like Sue Packer and Patrick Sutherland. The course certainly had a big impact on me personally, and also on the kind of photographs that I was taking. I think probably like a lot of people, I found the first term of the first year a very intense experience. Years later I learnt that David Hearn had studied at officer training camp, and it did make me think back as to how much this course was structured around a kind of military officer training. It certainly had that kind of regimented approach to the standard projects of person-at-work relationship and establishing pictures. By the end of the first year of the course, I had migrated away from the documentary photography course and had come under the influence of photo media, which was at that point run downstairs in Clarence Place, and it was run by Ron McCormick with input from Keith Arnett and Peter Fraser. And Peter himself had just published his book Two Blue Buckets, which I was kind of very influenced by, and also then Paul Rees had published Can I Help, which also I looked at a lot. And for me, and I think probably for British photography at the time, there was a real change away from traditional black and white decisive moment kind of photography that appeared on the pages of newspapers and magazines, to starting to think about photography as it might appear in a gallery. And the other book that was out at that point was the Mysterious Coincidences catalogue, published by Photo Gallery, and the work that I was particularly interested in that was by Matthew Dalziel and his project Images for Hue, and again that was a very kind of gallery orientated piece of work, and I knew that Matthew had studied on the course, and he had sort of also made that switch from traditional documentary photography into a more gallery based approach, and so I sort of he was somebody I saw sort of ahead of me on the road or whatever. My other abiding memory of Newport is of this book, American Images, which was remaindered in bargain books at the time, and I think everybody that I knew on the course had bought a copy of that book, and my memory certainly of it is that we had spent endless nights sitting around in flats discussing the various work that was in that book. The other kind of impact on me at that time, I suppose, as well as individual members of staff, were the other students that I studied with. And certainly we remembered long, probably quite torturous conversations in the bar with people like Simon Norfolk and Jonathan Ollie. And also then I shared a flat with a photographer called Nigel Hillier, who's I think gone on to be quite a successful commercial photographer. And Nigel had introduced me to the work of Thomas Cooper and also to Raymond Moore, and I suppose ultimately it was that introduction to Thomas Cooper's work that led me to go on to study in Glasgow School of Art. I think overall the experience of being a student at Newport and then also at Glasgow has stood me in very good stead for the job that I do today, which is editing Source, and it's given me a real continued interest in documentary photography, and I guess across the full spectrum into gallery based work. And I've also been able to continue with my own work as well, and certainly the course suited me in good stead to have a kind of professional attitude to making work. Okay, thanks.